Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and today we're checking out a custom built guitar from Hansen Kustoms out of Ontario, Canada. So I picked this one up locally, and I'm always interested in trying out, Luthier guitars because, they're hand-built. There's a lot more time spent into making them. So typically they sound and play really well, as long as the Luthier's, decent. And yeah, this one looked really, really cool. I really like Fender Cabronita Telecasters, and I really like single pickup guitars. So yeah, this one checked off a lot of boxes for me. So this was made by Erik Hansen from Hansen Kustoms in Ontario, Canada. And yeah, that's the story I was given by the person I bought it. So I managed to track down Erik on the internet, and I sent him a message just to confirm that this was indeed his build, and he did confirm it, and he did tell me a story about the headstock. So this one doesn't have any Hansen branding at all, but it does say A2 Babe on the headstock, which is kind of a different version of A2 Brute, which is what Caesar said when Brutus stabbed him. But apparently the story is, it's sort of an inside joke between a father and his daughter, and he had this guitar custom built for her. So I'm not sure what happened there, why it ended up for sale. Who knows really, but it's kind of a neat story on this custom guitar. So yeah, spec wise, this thing's pretty cool. It's got a unchambered alder body, and the finish is a burgundy mist, and it's actually finished in nitro as well. This guitar has been relicked as well, so it's got some checking on the nitro, and the bridge has been aged, and there's a couple little scuffs and things on there. I'm not sure if that was done intentionally or it's just over the years of handling this guitar, but it looks like a convincing relic job. It looks quite nice. It's also got a TV Jones Classic Plus pickup in the bridge position and just one pickup. It's got a Rudders cutoff bridge. What's interesting about the bridge is it looks like it's got two brass saddles, but then one kind of a nickel saddle. So I'm not sure if that was intentional or maybe a part was replaced, but it's kind of interesting. It's got one volume, one tone, and just a custom cut pick guard there. It's single ply, all white. Then we've got stainless steel frets, very nice, and acrylic dot inlays, and a super, super thick slab of rosewood was used for the fingerboard. Then we've got a bone nut, and there is our A2 Babe. You can see that really nice flame in the headstock there. So this is a one-piece roasted maple, flame maple neck, and it's gorgeous. Let's have a look at the back of the neck here. So yeah, it's a satin finish on the neck, so nice and smooth, and just really crazy flame throughout this roasted maple neck. And then these are Goto vintage style machine heads, and it's a bolt-on, and it's a back routed telly. So instead of the top being routed like a normal Telecaster, this has the back. And then we've got another really dark, flamey piece of roasted maple as the cavity cover. And it's a string through design as well. So yeah, this thing came in really nice shape. There's a couple little dings on here, one there, another one there, and again the finish is nitro and checked. And here's a look at our oversized strap buttons, another one there, and our output jack is a Telecaster recessed style. So yeah, the fit and finish on this guitar is great. It feels great. I did play it quickly when I picked it up, and it plays really nice and low with good action. The neck is also quite chunky. It's kind of a V-shaped neck rather than like a C-shaped. It's got a 10-inch radius, 25.5 scale, just like a normal Telecaster. And it's got the Music Man style truss rod. So this is the truss rod here at the bottom, which is a really nice style. I really enjoy this style of truss rod. Makes it very quick and easy to adjust the truss. So I'm excited to take this thing apart and just see a little closer what all the parts are. So yeah, extremely light guitar, just over 6.5 pounds, so 6 pounds 15 ounces, or 3.15 kilograms. And our single TV Jones Classic Plus in the bridge is reading a very lucky 7.77. Width at the nut is 1.67, or a 42.5 millimeters. And width of the 12th fret is a 50.92 millimeters, or a 2.04 inches. Neck depth at the first fret is a 0.89 inches, or a 22.61 millimeters. And at the 12th fret, that is a 25.11 millimeters, or a 0.98 inches. So yeah, it's a chunky neck, and here's a look at our neck profile. So you can see it's kind of more of a soft V than a C, which is kind of cool. And you can definitely tell that it feels quite chunky. Like, it feels like an old school Telecaster neck. And yeah, that slight V feels nice. Alright, here's a look at our bridge pickup. So it is indeed a TV Jones Classic Plus bridge pickup. And that's just mounted using 2 screws that go into the body. And it's also got a little piece of foam at the bottom to help with height adjustment. And here's a look at our body route, which is nice and clean. And it's just the perfect depth and shape for the TV Jones pickup. So here's a better look at our bridge. So this is a rudder cutoff bridge. So basically it's pretty simple. It's basically like a Telecaster bridge but cut in half. And then it's mounted to the body using those 4 screws. And then also you string, this is a string through design, so you string the strings through the body, and it's got some ferrules at the back where it connects. And the bridge is relict, and yeah, again, it's using that 1 nickel saddle and the 2 brass. I'm not sure if there's a reason for that or not, but they've got grooves on the barrels as well, so your string spacing is just perfect the way that it sits in there. And then underneath the pick guard, there's no surprises. It's just a pick guard, single ply, and it's got recessed portions for the screws, and the screws are aged as well. And we've got 1 volume, 1 tone, and these are knurled knob style brass knobs. Let's have a look at our back routed control cavity here. So yeah, the cover itself is a really nice flamed maple, which matches the neck really nicely. Roasted flame maple. And then here in the cavity you can see that it's routed very nicely. It's recessed too, so it's flush, which is a nice touch. And then they're using full-size pots here, nice and clean wiring. And there's this is a capacitor here, that big yellow tube style. I'm not really familiar what style of capacitor that is, but it looks higher end. And yeah, everything in there looks clean and well soldered. And here's a look at the string through ferrules. It looks like they're nice and lined up nicely, and they're kind of a satin nickel. And you can tell by the color of the strings that these are D'Addario strings. That's the color codes they use. And these are 9, so these are the EXL 120s. All right, let's have a look at the neck and the neck pocket. Alright, this neck has a really cool feature I didn't know about. So it's actually got receivers built into the neck. So what that does is instead of just, you know, a wood screw going into wood, what happens over time is that, you know, that screw hole can get loose and widened, and there's no bite from the screws anymore, depending on how many times you take off your neck and put it back on. But with this system, these are actually screw into the receivers in the neck, and it's far superior system because you can just take off your neck and do adjustments forever, and you never have to worry about the wood being compromised on your neck. So that is a really, really cool thing. And hats off to the Luthier for that, because that is hard to do, and very, very cool. And here's a look at our truss rod adjustment here, which is at the bottom. And yeah, very nice work with the cutout here for it, and it's nice and tapered here as well. And I'm just having a little bit of a closer look at the frets, and they are very, very well done, super smooth, super shiny, super polished, and stainless steel, so these will last a very, very long time. And even the nut, just having a look here, is super nice and polished. Just a really glassy nut on here. So there's a lot of attention to detail on this guitar, and it looks very nice. And here's a look at our neck pocket. Nothing in there in terms of markings or anything else like that. Just a nice clean route. And yeah, it looks like there's just one little piece of tape in there. Maybe they're using that as kind of a shim. It's also got that nice little recess part where the truss rod sits there for adjustment. So yeah, very clean. It looks great, and yeah, it's also a very nice fit for the neck as well. Sometimes on Fenders they don't have the greatest neck fit. With this one, it just, you have to really press it in there, and you can almost lift the guitar from how tight it fits in there. Let's just get it in there again. So yeah, very, very, very tight. You don't see that on Fenders very often, so yeah, that's great. Alright, this guitar came to me really well set up and intonated. I didn't have to do any work on it at all, so you can see that using my notch straight edge, that there's just a little bit of a gap between the straight edge and the fingerboard, so that tells me that the truss rod is set nice and tight and the neck is nice and straight. And then here in the 3rd fret area, when I use the 3rd fret, you can see that the string is resting gently against that 1st fret, so that tells us that the neck is straight and the truss is tight, and we've got a really well cut bone nut here. So very good action in this area. And then at the 12th fret, at the low E, it's sitting at a 1.5 millimeters, and the high E is just about 1 millimeter. So nice low action. I'm going to go through the neck to make sure there's no buzzing or fretting out anywhere on this guitar. I like to speed this part up, but if you want to hear it in real time, slow down the player to 25%. So yeah, no fretting out or buzzing hardly anywhere on the guitar. It plays really nice. And our neck feels really nice with that satin finish. It's got a nice chunk to it. I'm starting to prefer chunkier necks lately, so this one is really doing it for me. And the fret ends are super nice and smooth. You can't feel a thing. Very buttery smooth. And yeah, they feel great. Alright, let's have a look at the condition of the guitar. So what's kind of cool about this guitar is the back of the neck is, the back of the headstock is a satin finish, but the front is a gloss. So yeah, just another nice touch. And we can see it's got the Fender style string tree there, and our open slot vintage style Goto machine heads, which work really well. The guitar stays in tune really nicely. And we've got a couple little dings here around the top of the headstock. And there is our finished over A2 Babe. And it looks like it's either a water slide decal or it might even be painted on there. You can feel it just raised a little bit under the finish, but I'm not really sure how that was done. It looks good nonetheless, and you can really see that nice flame on the headstock. Here's our super nicely polished bone nut, and the string spacing is great and well cut. And then we've got a really nice dark rosewood, super thick fingerboard, and there's no fret wear at all on these stainless steel frets. They're super polished, very easy to bend on the neck. They look good. And there's our look at our wheel style truss rod adjustment there. And just a better look at that burgundy mist finish. This has got like that sparkle in there as well, and it's a nitro finish, and it's been relic, so you've got all that nice like old looking checking all over this guitar. And our aged bridge. And as far as condition goes, yeah, no scrapes or dings or anything on the top. That all looks good. And no cracks around our heel area. The neck fits in there nice and tight. These strap buttons are well hung strap buttons, so they're kind of fancy. And then on the back, we've got a couple little dings I noticed. This one's probably the worst. Seems to go through the finish. A little bit of a gouge there. But, yeah, really nice back. Let's look at our flamed maple cavity cover. One other little ding right here. But everything else looks good. So those two dings are kind of the worst of it. There's another little of a dimple here, an impression. But again, this is a relic guitar, so I'm not sure how this left the shop and what's been done to it over time. A bit of a relic neck plate there. And here's a better look at our roasted flame maple neck. So yeah, this is a satin finish and just super flamed, and it kind of dances around the light. Just gorgeous, gorgeous wood on the neck. And yeah, it's a one-piece neck, more of that nice grain there, and a better look at our Goto machine heads. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug it in and see how it sounds. Alright, I'm plugged into my 1965 Fender Bassman, and I'm using the Sonic Cake Levitate reverb pedal. I'm just going to go through basically clean, and then at half tone, and then with a little bit of overdrive, and then half tone for that as well. Yeah, it sounds really great clean. I really love that snappy twang of the TV Jones, but you can get it to clean up really nice by rolling off the tone a little bit and just get a little bit more bottom end than just a regular single coil. So yeah, very impressive sound. I'm going to try it with a little bit of overdrive. Alright, final thoughts on the single pickup Burgundy Mist Cabronita Telecaster from Hansen Kustoms. This is an awesome guitar. So it's super light, 6.5 pounds. It's made of like top quality materials, like a solid piece of alder, a nice thick rosewood fingerboard, a ultra flamey roasted maple neck, you know, a super high-end classic plus TV Jones pickups. Great wiring, the neck fits in the pocket just perfectly, stainless steel frets, bone nut, everything's super highly polished and fit and finish is fantastic, everything's well made, just a really, really, really nice little guitar. I really enjoyed the inserts in the neck for the screws. I think that's a great idea. I think Fender should adopt that as the norm, because it really makes taking off your neck a lot easier and you don't have to worry about the wood degrading. Essentially turning, you know, the replaceable neck into just an adjustable neck that you can reuse over and over again and not worry about it. So that's a really cool feature. Just everything on here is just really nicely done. That recessed cavity for the controls there, and the flamed maple cavity cover. And yeah, just a really, really nice example of a really well-made custom shop luthier guitar. I thought the tones were great. I really love TV Jones pickups, and there's just something to one pickup guitars that you just really get great tone. I don't know if it's the lack of magnet pull on the strings on the other pickup, but every single one pickup guitar I own sounds great in terms of tone, so that's awesome. You can also get a lot of versatility out of the tone knob, so it's nice and harsh, telly sounding, full tone, but then you can roll that back almost like a neck pickup, so you get the best of both worlds with just a little bit of a tone adjustment. Yeah, I thought it looked super classy too. I really like that burgundy mist, kind of champagne metallic color. And yeah, this is a fully nitro finish as well, which you don't see on a lot of custom builds because nitro's kind of hard to work with. And yeah, just plays great. I really like the neck. The big chunky V-neck felt great, and it's a satin finish on the neck as well. So yeah, overall I was just really impressed with the guitar, and it played and sounded really great. Very comfortable and nice and light. If you are interested in this guitar, I'm going to have it for sale up at the Reverb store. Just have too many at the moment. But if you are interested in this, it's going to be a lot less money than like a custom shop Fender, but that's kind of what it feels like. But anyway, thanks for tuning into Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'm going to have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.